It has never been more clear for the Montreal Canadiens, with the offseason upon us and rumors swirling constantly about the Habs' next 2C. One name continues to rise above the rest from the New York Islanders, and with recent developments there, it makes it more likely than ever. We have to dive into Bo Horvat, plus another very interesting young name out of Anaheim, with their future being rather uncertain. But we also have to look at the Habs' upcoming free agents and some interesting little twists that might come from Kent Hughes this summer. We got to dive into all of that coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. But before we do, I just want to ask you guys to hit that free subscribe button, because we're so close to 21,000. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's been unbelievable. And hey, playoffs are done, but we're still here every single day. So if you want to stay up to date every day on your favorite Habs news, this is the spot to be. Jesse, let's dive into this first. And I want to shout out this Reddit post here from, I think it's Flimsy ad. I think that's what it was. Regardless, the link will be in the description to check this post out. Please go do it. Leave it an upvote. Tell them we sent you even. But they made a nice list here about the Habs free agents this offseason. And look, we're not going to dive into every single one of these, but this is really well lined up to show us where we need to pay some money for restricted free agents versus unrestricted. Now, Jesse, we could go a million different ways with this conversation. I want to just start with, look, the restricted free agents, the young guys that are in the NHL, at least were for part of this year: Heineman, Struble, Dobeš, and Primeau. In my mind, 3 of those guys, and Heineman, Struble, and Dobeš, are guaranteed to get some money. Not going to dive into exactly the money this year. I assume all of them are going to be $2 million or less. Primeau's a bit of a wild card to me, though, Jesse. I mean, look, when we're looking straight at the RFAs, does anything stand out directly to you? I mean, to me, I think Struble and Heineman are 2 of these guys that showed a lot this year that I think could stick around for a while.
Yeah, we're having locks for this team is definitely Struble, Heineman, Dobeš. You have to feel like Farrell will probably get a deal as well. He has done really good in the second part of this AHL season. You have to feel like Trudeau will probably kind of get extended there. Players that are gone, though, from this list, we're looking at Dvorak. We're looking at Armia, Pezzetta. Crazy to think that we've seen probably the last game of Michael Pezzetta in a Montreal Canadiens jersey. And Primeau, yeah, this guy's like a complete wild card. We do not know at all what to expect. What is going to go on there? We see the value. We see that he might want to kind of have that opportunity somewhere else right now. Even like a guy like RHP, I am not very, I'm not feeling too strong about the possibility of him getting re-signed. We just got so many of those young guys coming up. That being said, it's they've all contributed. RHP, all these guys have contributed to a really strong AHL season. You have to feel like that really counts for something going forward. And they're going to want to continue, having a strong team down there. But with all these guys that we got coming up, all these picks, obviously for this very year as well, Josh, it's going to be more competitive than ever to get a deal with the Montreal Canadiens.
That's a fantastic point, right? There's just so much talent. And, with Laval's success this year, there is a game today. Before, as of the recording of this video, we don't know the result, hoping they get the big win. But, regardless of the result, this team down in Laval has been unbelievable this year, thanks in large part due to Jakob Dobeš, Cayden Primeau, and, of course, Connor Hughes. Now, Connor Hughes, he is injured now, and he will be heading back to Europe next season. I believe that was confirmed. So, looking like Primeau and Fowler are the guys in Laval for next year. But you know what, Jesse? Again, with some of these guys, not going to dive into this too much because I want to hear the comment section on this. There's a lot of guys here, someone like an RHP, who could maybe crack an NHL roster somewhere in the league. Same thing with Cayden Primeau. That's the thing that scares me more than anything. Same thing with Barré-Boulet. He's probably not going to want to sign a one-way AHL deal. There's a lot of these guys with NHL upside that just don't fit with the Habs. So let us know your thoughts down below. Will we lose any of these guys? Who do you want to absolutely keep around? I know, look, Struble, Dobeš, and Heineman, absolute locks. But for some of these other guys, it might be a bit of a wild card. But speaking of wild cards, Jesse, the 2C chase is on. This offseason is going to be, since we started this channel, probably the most exciting. We thought getting Patrick Laine was big. We had this draft of Ivan Demidov, and we're saying this one might even be better. Ivan Demidov. I still got to get used to that. But right now we got to talk about some stuff. And looking at some 2C options around the league, the first guy I want to bring up, and I want the fans to give us your thoughts about both of the guys we're going to talk about. First guy's Mason McTavish out of Anaheim. He's a name that surfaces a lot. Jesse, when you see Mason McTavish, you see a 22-year-old who's a restricted free agent after this year. Anaheim has a lot of other young guys coming up, and there's been a lot of talk around McTavish and Zegras, of course, about, do they move on from some of these guys to get some more assets and say, hey, no, we want to focus more on our young guys. He's a great player. What do you think about his fit in Montreal specifically? Because I think if he is ever on the block, I know he's an RFA, trade for his rights. To me, this is one of my top guys that we could even go after, especially with the age and position.
For sure. We know that Kent Hughes is aiming high in his quest for the 2C for the Montreal Canadiens. Animation loading, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
for this guy, Mason McTavish right here, born very interestingly in Zurich, Switzerland, is that with him, it's like, I know that size right now, when we're looking to kind of bring on players, whether center or otherwise, like, it's a huge point of contention with this Montreal Canadiens. We've done better of getting that size, but like the fans feel like it's not done. Whoever we're bringing in for that position, you know, they want that size. McTavish, 6'1", 219, pretty healthy there. He's going to bring that size. He has got a great shot, great release there. The thing about him, though, that I like, Josh, which is so important, again, like this is a younger guy. I've talked about the merits of getting that kind of veteran 2C. We'll get into that a little bit more in a second, but like Mason McTavish is still a guy that I am really okay with us taking. Why? He's shown consistency over his career of just consistently getting better, but no really big valleys and kind of mountaintops there. And at the same time, like he's not just a playmaker. And for me, when you're bringing over a 2C for the Montreal Canadiens, I don't want to bring in a guy who's going to rely on other people to kind of, or be more of a setup kind of guy and just get a lot of assists and not too many goals. Like, I want to bring in a 2C that I know can score. And this guy has consistently done that. 22 goals this year, 30 assists, 52 points. Somebody you have to feel the Montreal Canadiens can grow with. And you have to feel like he's going to look at those vets. But Kenton's his first ideal thing will maybe be getting somebody ideal. Just again, we know that window that this team has, somebody that could really fit that is going to be the first look for Kent Hughes here.
I agree. And again, if you look at the roster, it's like, I mean, you know, this doesn't show the points, but we look at the contracts here and you have to assume, look, Matt Coronado getting that 7-year by $6.5 million kind of deal. You have to assume McTavish is going to get a little bit above that for sure. We're not sure exactly how long or for how much, but we're probably talking $7+ million if you're asking me. I mean, look, you never really know, but the thing with him, Jesse, I think you made an amazing point. Again, the consistency. Like, he's been around like in 19 goals and I think 60-something games last year. Actually on I believe a higher goal per game pace last year, but more points this year. Again, just consistently kind of growing, and with this struggling Anaheim Ducks team with not that many teammates who can finish, especially under Greg Cronin most of the year, who focused more on a defensive style of game, he still put up 52 points, finished second on the team in scoring. I think he could be very, very interesting, especially with a certain skilled winger that we may have around the team right now. So he's a great candidate. Let us know your thoughts on Mason McTavish down below. I mean, if he's ever made available, I think he's one of the top targets. One other guy, though, Jesse, I mean, look, there's been a lot of turmoil with this team. There's been a lot, not Montreal, the team that this guy comes from. I mean, look, we know Lou Lamoriello will not return. We thought that they'd continue to go for it year after year. That's kind of Lou Lamoriello's MO. No matter where he goes, these teams just want to continue to play and play and play and play. But with a lot of uncertainty around the Islanders' future, look, we got Matt Barzal there, but he's not the guy we want to talk about today. There's some other names. J.G. Pajot is another one fans are talking about, Jesse, because of his league best face-off percentage. But the guy we want to talk about is Bo Horvat. Once again, I believe he was top 10 in league face-off percentage, or if not, extremely close to it. 57 points in 81 games. Bo Horvat, again, he's 30 years old. That's the main issue with Bo Horvat. But looking at his career, Jesse, 58.2% on the dot this year. 54 the year before. 57. One of the best guys in the league on the dot, straight up. And when he has skilled wingers around him, I take your attention to 2022-23 in Vancouver before traded to New York. 31 goals in 49 games while playing a lot, I believe, with JT Miller. You put a skilled winger with him in an dynamic offensive system, he can produce incredible goal-scoring numbers. The issue, again, though, Jesse, is his contract. Look, what are your thoughts on Bo Horvat? Again, locked up till 2031 at $8.5 million. That would be the highest cap it on the Habs, of course, outside of Patrick Laine, but over that long span, it would be. I see him as a perfect fit. My only issue is the term.
For sure. But you have to feel like he would be the perfect stopgap at 30 years of age for a Michael Hage to come in, but also feel like we're not rushing in his development. Give him a couple years if needed to really kind of get into his role right now. For sure, there's going to be a cost for that 2C, but the Kent Hughes and this team is definitely going to need to pay it going forward. It is going to be so big for this team to really find that perfect fit. And when we're talking about his former, his team right now, I'm getting ahead of myself, but looking at teams like the Islanders, like the Pens, even like the Kings, I would kind of throw into that. Like, these are all teams that need to do something just a little bit different here. Either the Kings kind of losing every round in the first round to the Oilers. You kind of got the Islanders are stuck in mediocrity right now. Like the Pens, we know the situation they're in. We're rebuilding. Like, I just have to feel like there's options on all of these teams, and one of them is going to have to really look to do something different here. Again, 28 goals, 57 points. Like, that would be amazing production for a second line center, and there is a lot of value again into bringing like a veteran, talented player into our top six. Just how Alex Carrier having that veteran presence helped with such a young decor. We got a lot of young guys in our top six. So there's benefits to a McTavish, a young guy that kind of goes with that young age group. But there's also something to be said about bringing some veteran experience into that, especially come playoff time, right? So some great options for Kent Hughes to look at while he's in the kitchen, looking to cook up something for this team here.
Absolutely. And you know what? Another thing is I'm looking at these stats, Jesse. I mean, the pinnacle of consistency. It was Bo Horvat throughout many years. Never really injured that much. 81 games this year, 81 the year before, 79, 70, 56 in the shortened season, a full season. Like, he's been healthy. He's been consistently around 25 to 35 goals with, again, 38 and 22, 23, 28 this year. And again, he's a former captain of the Vancouver Canucks. The leadership comes as well. A lot of benefits for Horvat. Again, the issue is the age, but I think you're right. Like 2031, we're talking 6 more years. He's done when he's 36. Our core young guys, Slaf will be like 27. We're kind of transitioning into a new era. I think it can actually work a lot. Again, fans are scared about the term, but sometimes you got to pay for these veteran guys that we know Hughes and Gorton. They're maybe not so keen on it. Let us know what you guys think. It's a very interesting name, and I guarantee you we'll have lots more interesting names coming in the coming weeks. So much to talk about with this 2C, but for now, that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. Leave your thoughts on Horvat, McTavish, our free agents, all that stuff down below. Love to hear from you. By the way, final thing. This is the final day for the giveaway. Leave your comment on what you want from the Habs store, $50 or less, and subscribe to the channel. A random winner will be announced tomorrow. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.